You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, I'm Les Brown, Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy, and I'm so glad to spend some time with you today. You know, one of the things about this Christmas, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, now, Katrina Ferguson, who was just on, a very good friend of mine, she called, she said, I miss you. I said, I miss you too. We got several children we got to be talking about up in here. I want to talk to you about this thing called life. It's fascinating. You know, Christmas Day, I wanted to give a Christmas message of love and peace of mind and having a drama-free and stress-free life. And drama and stress just jumped on me. He said, no, you need to hear a message. You don't have any energy to give one. I mean, to tell you, this has been something else. I mean, there are times when you think, look, I've gone through so much that life can't possibly throw anything else at me. I mean, maybe they would just have decided, let's pass the cup to somebody else. I mean, okay. And I realized that life is unpredictable. You just don't know what's going to happen next. I think that Forrest Gump had a point. My three favorite movies, Malcolm X by Spike Lee, he should have got an Academy Award for that. Forrest Gump, I love that movie. And Cool Hand Luke with Paul Newman. You don't know, you're too young to know about Cool Hand Luke. There's a fight scene in there that reminds me of myself. I've been fighting for a long time. And so this Christmas, I was knocked senseless. Some things happened, and I had to focus my mind. You have to really, literally take control of your mind and allow it to serve you. And I had to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to focus on the things that I was grateful for, to focus on the things that I have as opposed to that I don't have, to focus on the things that I take for granted but are literally blessings. My 52-year-old son had a stroke, and I don't care how old your children become, they're still your children. And he can't swallow his own saliva. It's being fed through his stomach with a tube. And when something happened to your children, it happens to you as well. Then my 33-year-old son, John Leslie, who has so much talent, he's been diagnosed with bipolar. And this guy, you know what? You know that song that says, you about to make me lose my mind, up in here, up in here. These are my Facebook saying, I got a seminar coming up. Now, people with bipolar, they have highs and lows. They have delusions of grandeur, or they become very depressed. He never gets depressed that I know of. I've got a seminar coming up. I'm the Prince of Motivation. This is my son, John Leslie. I've spent more money on marijuana than I have on self-development. This is my son, John Leslie. Look here. I got a seminar coming up, and people pay $1 billion. However, if you call me now, you can just pay $100,000. This is my son, John Leslie. I'm saying to myself, you about to make me lose my mind up in here. You about to make me act a fool up in here. If you understand what I'm talking about when it comes to your children, seem like there's always one in the family. Well, I got two. I got two. Oh my God. But while I was feeling down on I've been thinking about the fact that I'm able to motivate and inspire people around the world, that I can't reach my two sons. They can't hear it from me. And so here's what I had to do. There's a prayer, Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. No. I say, Lord, grant me the serenity to recognize the things that I cannot change. I can't live their life for them. I cannot make choices for my sons. And the courage to know the difference. And be okay with that. That's their journey. And I can't take that away from them. I can't live their life for them. And when I was dealing with this, and it was not easy to come to that place, to find a place of peace, a friend called me from Columbus, Ohio, named Queen Nyla. And she reminded me of something. She said, Leslie, she left this message on my answering service. She said, I never told you this. When you were fired from WVKO radio station, I used to be a disc jockey in Columbus, Ohio, on WVKO radio station. She said, I was driving down Mount Vernon Avenue about 3 days later, and I saw you washing cars at Toonie's Sunoco, at Toonie's drive-through and car wash. And she said you had the biggest smile on your face, the happiest smile on your face that lit up Mount Vernon. And she said, I had to go around the block and come back and look again. Said, how could he be so happy? And he just got fired from something he's been doing for years. And she said, I never forgot that. I never forgot that. I'm glad that she never forgot that, because she reminded me of who I am. I've always been able to bounce back from things. And there's some things that can hit you below the belt that the recovery time is more challenging. Things have happened to me like dealing with cancer for 21 years. That's no big deal. Things happened to me like the sciatica pain, and I was in a wheelchair for several months. Now, that is a big deal. Let me tell you something. I've been over to pick up my luggage at the airport and felt something in the lower part of my back. And my mind said, mind over matter. And the sciatica pain said, you don't know me like this. So I stood up and I let out a primal scream that security came rushing over to where I was. I hit the floor. And so they said, can we help you up? And I can hear people say, that's Les Brown, he's on the floor. So at first I said, no, I got this. But that sciatica pain said, I think you better ask for some help. Swallow your ego and your pride and ask for some help, because you can't get up by yourself now. And not only did they have to help me up, they had to go get a wheelchair for me. Okay, and then they had to get a mop on that for that section over there, because people going by would perhaps slip down because I'd wet on myself. Oh my God. I'm turning red telling you about this. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. So, but that's sciatica pain. If you never had it, you don't want it. I mean, it'll have you calling on Jesus, Yahweh, Melchizedek. You'll speak in tongues. You'll start chanting Noma Yoho Renge Kyo. That sciatica pain is something else. Well, at any rate, I've dealt with a lot of stuff. But when it comes to my children, wow. That's a different kind of challenge. It's been said that life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you don't want will automatically take over. Think about that. Life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you don't want will automatically take over. I want you to vibe with that for just a moment. Let it sink in. Can you feel it, brother? Up in here, up in here. Now, if what I'm saying, if you can identify with it, let me see some thumbs up or some hearts. I want you to like it. I want you to text some other people and tell them Les Brown is speaking and notify them, because I want to share some other things. Oh, by the way, for those of you in London, I'm going to be in London January the 20th. January the 20th. And my daughter, Ona Brown, will be with me. My son, Patrick Brown, will be with me. It's going to be a great experience. And I have other speakers that will be with me as well. Marie Cosgrove is going to be there. She's a phenomenal person. And I can just tell you with the various speakers we're going to have on that platform, it's going to transform your life. We're going to teach you how to identify what your dream is, how to turn your passion into profits, teach you how to get unstuck, but also what's major in order to make it today. It's mindset transformation you're going to experience, and this is going to be an intimate setting. It's not going to be 2,000 or 3,000 people. No, it's going to be an intimate setting. And you will have an opportunity to ask me questions. It's going to be up close and personal. It's an experience that we're orchestrating that will transform you. And it's going to transform your mindset. It's going to expand your mind to what's possible for you. The other thing is, it's going to help you to identify your sweet spot. What is it that you have that you can take that passion and turn that passion into profits? And here's the other thing that's major. We're going to help you to create a blueprint to make 2018 your greatest year ever. And you're going to create collaborative, achievement-driven, accountability-driven relationships. Collaborative, achievement-driven, accountability-driven relationships. Now, listen to me on this. A lot of people will make New Year's resolutions. They do it every year. However, people with accountability partners have a 41% greater chance of achieving their goals, of creating the next greatest version of themselves, of getting unstuck, of having more confidence, conquering their fears, detoxifying their lives. When you have accountability partners, that increases your ability to achieve your goals by more than 41%. Think about that. That's major. And so London, we're going to be there. I'm coming early because there are people who've been emailing me and saying, hey, are you going to do a training while you're in London? Well, I'm going to be there a week early. And those of you that are serious, go to lesbrowninlondon.com or UK. And Althea Grant is the person that's hosting it, Attorney Althea Grant, and make sure you sign up right away. Now, as you look at your goals and dreams and as you prepare for 2018, here's something that I'm encouraging you to do. Have some goals that's beyond your comfort zone. Now, I'm this come February 17th, be my 73rd year on the planet. You know, I used to think people in their 40s were old. Now that I'm in my 70s, I feel like I was a waiter at the Lord's Supper. Oh my God. Oh, I mean to tell you, it's, you know, Betty Davis said, old age is not for sissies. She's right. She's right. I went to this, look here, I'm getting off the subject, but I got to tell you this. I was in Detroit. They had this healer came into town, and so people told me I should go because I've been dealing with cancer and also arthritis in my right hip. I used to ask my mother, Mama, why do you get up every morning saying, oh, authors bother me? And Mama would say, don't worry, you live long enough, you'll find out. Well, she was right. She's talking about arthritis. So I went to this church where this healer was. And so I watched and listened to people who said they'd had whiplash. And this lady took the man's brace off and touched his neck and told him move his head side to side and forward. And he said, I'm healed. Then another person came up with a walker. And she took the walker away and touched the person's back. And he said, oh, I got some problems in the higher level of my back in the scapular area. She touched that area too. And she pushed the walk out of the way. She said, walk back and forth. He walked back and forth. Touch your knees. He touched his knees, and then he touched his toes. So I got up and I got in line. I said, oh, this is real. So when I stood up, somebody recognized me. So they took me to the front of the line saying, Les Brown is here. And so they took me up front. She said, I like to make direct contact. What's your problem? So I said, well, just touch me, top of my head, and that'll go all the way through my body. Just take care of everything, diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer, sciatica pain, everything. She said, no, I need to make direct contact. Where is it that you have illness? I said, well, I've been dealing with prostate cancer, and I've got arthritis in my right hip. She put her hand on my head and said, heal him, Jesus, heal him. Oh, I got a Woody just with the thought. Oh, no, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm a baby Christian. I haven't been saying that long. Okay, so anyhow. So I'm excited about this thing called life. Even though everything is not what I want it to be, I'm excited. I'm still here. I was one day feeling sorry for myself. I got on the floor to do some push-ups, and because of the medication they inject me with every 3 months, it takes all your strength away, all your testosterone. I mean, I used to do 142 push-ups on stage, and people would count them, and they would cheer. And so the doctor told me, he said, Mr. Brown, you won't be able to do that anymore. I said, I won't? He said, no. And so I got on the floor when I got home, and I was only able to do 2. And I started crying. I've never, ever not been able to lift my body. I've always been able to do over 142 push-ups. And at that time, I got a call. It was Ed Blunt, one of my mentees, powerful speaker. If you haven't heard him, look him up. He said, Les, are you all right? I said, no. He said, what's wrong? You sound like you're crying. I said, I can only do 2 push-ups, Ed. You know I can do more than that. He said, and that's why you're crying? I said, yes. He said, can you still speak? I said, yes. Can you still train people how to speak and how to tell their stories? I said, yes. He said, can you still change lives? I said, yes. He said, do people pay you still to speak? I said, yes. He said, anybody paying you to do push-ups? I said, no. He said, then shut the hell up. He said, get up off the floor, man, and use what you got. Boy, if I had been close to him, I'd have knocked him out. I'd have sucker punched him. You hear me? Oh, my God. This thing called life. Okay, so anywho, as my mother would say, you're blessed to still be here. I called a friend of mine out of Chicago, Jeffrey Sturf. And Jeffrey's been a paraplegic for over 20 years. And usually when you're a quadriplegic, they're not expected to live beyond 21. He's now 30 years. He used to drive 80 miles to hear me speak in Chicago. He lives 80 miles from Chicago. And here's a guy who maneuvers himself around in a wheelchair. Here's a guy who has to have 3 attendants. Here's a guy that one day he was rolling on the shoulders of a highway and his wheelchair tilt over. And he was there for several hours before a driver noticed and came over. And there's the wheelchair's turned over on top of him, and he can't move his arms or legs. He couldn't crawl out from under it. And the guy asked, are you all right? It said, Jeffrey said, here, sand all in my face and eyes, ants, they're crawling all over my face. And he asked me, am I all right? He said, if I could have moved it, he said, I'd have knocked him out. He said, oh, I'm fine. I have nothing else to do but to be out here with my face in the dirt and this wheelchair on top of me. Hell no, I'm not all right, man. Help me get up. But what got me when I was talking to Jeffrey, his mother has passed, and he is independent. And I think about people who say they're depressed, like my son, Calvin, who he can't swallow, and And that's a major problem in his life now. And he's angry and resentful. I think about people who have all their limbs working for them, wake up with at least part of their right mind, and so negative and so toxic, don't realize how blessed they are. And here Jeffries was talking about all the things that he's able to do, and he drives and he takes care of himself. Can't even bathe himself. Someone has to do that for him. And when I was in a wheelchair from the sciatica pain, he gave me encouragement. He and Jose Flores prayed for me, both of them quadriplegics. I don't know what you're going through, what you're dealing with. Here's what I say. Don't focus on what you don't have. Focus on what you do have. Strengthen what's left. You're here for a purpose. I believe that each of us, that we were created on purpose, with a purpose, that's to come through us. That if you don't do it, no one else is going to do it. This broadcast I'm having right now on Facebook, these words that I'm speaking, that's my assignment. I believe that everything that I've experienced, all the things that I've gone through, that has caused me to be who I am. As a saying, no test, no testimony. You know, I feel like Mother Teresa sometimes. She said, Lord, I know you know how much I can bear. I just wish you didn't have so much confidence in me. I know you know how much I can bear. I just wish you didn't have so much confidence in me. Because I feel loaded up. Oh my God. Yeah. This has been an interesting time. Interesting time. I didn't get any physical gifts, but I have life. I have 15 grandchildren. I wish I'd had my grandchildren first. I'm a great-grandfather of 3 boys and 1 on the way. And I can still speak. I can still touch lives. I can still be a light in a very dark world. And I'm going to focus on that. What is it that you're going to focus on this year? Because where focus goes, as Einstein would say, energy flows. What is it as you think about your goals and dreams of making 2018 your greatest year ever? What is it? I want you to write this down. Focus. Focus. And focus on something that's beyond your comfort zone, something that will challenge you. Greater is he that is in you than he that's in the world. You have a power and a presence in you. You can do more than you can ever begin to imagine. And when you have goals beyond your comfort zone, in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been. You are here for a reason. You were chosen out of 400 million sperm on purpose, with a purpose that only you will deliver. Only you will bring that artwork. Only you will write that book. Only you will give that presentation, give that speech, give that invention, come up with that idea, come up with that innovation. Only you will do that. You're unique. And you're more powerful than you give yourself credit for being. And why is it less important to focus? What do you mean by that? Not just focusing on and holding a vision of what it is you want to create and seeing it already done. But you got to monitor your mind. Everything gets in through the eyes and through the ears. There's some stuff that, based upon what you want to do, that you are not given the luxury to watch. Negativity has magnetic power, hypnotic power. You can't afford to look at all the craziness that's on YouTube. I found myself, before I knew it, hours had gone by watching crazy people fight. It's unbelievable the kind of madness that's out there. I don't have time for that. I want to give you a criteria to screen things if you want to make this the greatest year you've ever had. And I'm going to wind it up on this. I want you to think about what it is that you want to achieve. My favorite book says, keep thine eyes single. Keep thine eyes single, and thy whole body will be full of light, the light of understanding. Don't watch something or accept a phone call unless it's positive. Number one, if it's not positive, if that person you know not to be a positive person, don't take the call. Don't answer it. You don't have to do that. Don't watch something if it does not enhance you, if it does not inspire you, if it does not motivate you. Go on YouTube and find some motivational messages. In fact, watch me speaking in the Georgia Dome, which no longer exists, speaking before 80,000 people. You watch that the first 30 days of 2018. I guarantee you'll reach 87% of your goals. Don't watch something unless it's positive. Next thing is, don't take a phone call or watch something or listen to something if it's not purposeful, if it's not in alignment with the direction of where you are going, if it's not in alignment with what it is that you're going to create, if it's not purposeful, if it's not in alignment with the declaration that you've made on your life and how you're going to use your time and your energy, don't take the call. Don't watch it. Don't listen to it. Don't read it. Next thing is, not only must you focus your mind and don't take calls or watch things that are not positive, that's not purposeful, but if it's not productive, if you're not going to learn something. I got a friend I'm calling named Giorgio, and I'm tired of having this smartphone, which if the phone is smart and smarter than me, then I must be a dumb purchaser if I have not taken the time to learn how to use it. What's the difference of having a smartphone if you don't know how to use it? You're still dumb. Hello? So I'm taking the time to call somebody and say, can you show me how to work this thing? Show me what to do so I can use this more effectively. So he calls me back. I will take that call. Why? Because that's productive. That's something in alignment with what I'm doing with my life. That's on purpose. That's positive. Next thing is it profitable? I was saying to some friends last night, I said, the older you become, the more money you need. Trust me on that. One sickness, 95% of the people who filed bankruptcy last year did so because of medical expenses. One sickness can wipe out a fortune. Think about that. So my goal is spend more time in 2018 in the gym as opposed to watching things on YouTube or watching television. Being here is not a given. A news journalist out of Atlanta, 62 years old, died of a stroke in the airport. 62 years old, going to the funeral of her stepfather, an icon in television there, beautiful person. We don't know how much time we have left. And so this will be your best year ever if you decide to discipline yourself to only entertain things that are positive, that are purposeful, that are productive, that are profitable. If you decide this is the stand that I'm taking with my life, if you decide I'm not going to engage with people that are not positive, that are not possessed with some dream or goal or something they want to achieve, I'm not going to be around people that are not productive. I'm not going to be around people that's living a mediocre life. There's a new book out called Average is Over. It's a new time. 50% of the jobs today can be done by robots. By robots. Just think about that. And so, as you look at yourself, look at your goals, you have to ask yourself, as you look 6 months from now, how much will you be worth? If you invested in stock in the stock market, you will monitor it on a daily basis to see, is it increasing in value? I bought Troptions, cryptocurrency, over 2 months ago. At the time I got it was $2. Now it's over $60. I got 1 million of cryptocurrency, Troptions. And so I'm always watching and tracking the value of it. This is the time that you have to expand or you are expendable. Think about that. This is a time that it's an incredible time. It's the best of times and the worst of times. And as you look at yourself, ask yourself, how can I become more productive? What are the things that I want for my life at this point? And what kind of person must I become in order to make that become a reality? Part of what I'm working on now, as I train speakers, when I go to London, teach you how to create non-performance income. Non-performance income. The old way was you give so much hours and time and then you get a paycheck. No. Technology has changed the game. If you don't do anything else this year, work on your mind, find a passion, increase your skill, your level of mastery so you can turn that passion into profit, and create collaborative, achievement-driven, accountability-focused relationships. Most relationships are social and entertainment-driven. Surround yourself with people that you can learn from, people that you can grow from. I have a friend that I'll be talking to today named Angie. Know what she does? She helps you find money in your life, find money in your business. She's got a creative mind. So she's working with me to further my legacy. You want to have people around you that you can learn from. I have another friend named Teresa that as I look at what I'm going to do with my business, she's a part of my team of collaborative, achievement-driven, accountable relationships. She has over 300 million people in her database. Hey, you don't want to align yourself with people who don't have anything going for them. The older you become, the more money you need for yourself or the people that you care about. I'm telling you. So as you think about your goals and dreams, you have something special. You have greatness in you. It requires discipline. It requires dedication. It requires perseverance. You're going to go through some stuff. Sometimes, you want to ask God, why me? And the question comes back, why not you? Who would you suggest? Oh my God. I tell you, Forrest Gump was right. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. I'm glad I'm still here. I can make a difference. I'm going to Turkey. I'm going to Dubai. I love Dubai. I want to go back to Nigeria and South Africa too. Do you like to travel? I love to travel. I love different cultures. I really enjoyed myself in Nigeria, Abuja, Lagos, South Africa, Canada, going back there, taking some of my speakers with me that I'm going to train them how to become global voices of hope. My goal is, 7 is my lucky number. I'm one of 7 children. I was born February the 17th. And my phone number is 702. My address is 2737. Did I tell you 7 is my lucky number? My Social Security number is 267. Joshua marched around the walls of Jericho 7 times. Naaman dipped himself in the river Jordan 7 times. Did I tell you when I tell you that 7 is my lucky number, it's my lucky number? The oncologist at Florida Hospital looked at me and said, Mr. Brown, cancer's metastasized to 7 areas of your body. And I started smiling. He said, why are you smiling? Are you in denial? I said, no. He said, what's up with that? I said, 7 is my lucky number. That means that cancer's getting the hell beat out of it. It's been 21 years. 3 times 7 is what? 21. 7 is my lucky number. So, I'm going to train. First I said 10,000. I said, no, there are not 10,000 people that's hungry and serious and want to master communication. I said, I want to train 77. We learn, we earn, we pass it on. 77 people who want to master communication, master telling their story, master making a difference in life, master leaving a legacy. 77 people that's willing to be stretched and challenged and willing to invest in themselves. I want you to get a book that I wrote the foreword for, my mentor Mike Williams out of Columbus, Ohio. Mike Williams, the title of his book is called The Road to Your Best Stuff. You can get it on Amazon. The Road to Your Best Stuff. If you're serious about making 2018 the year of your dream, if you're serious about this being your greatest year ever, get this book, The Road to Your Best Stuff by Mike Williams. I wrote the foreword for it. You can get it audio or you can get the book. It will change your life. If you follow the process, it will change your life. It will change your life. I want to leave this with you. Life is precious. One of the best things that happened to me after the doctors looked at me and said, you have cancer 21 years ago. And I've been dealing with all types of therapies. They're now talking about something called immunology, where they take out my white blood cells, train them for 2 weeks, and then re-inject them in me, and then they will have the capacity to identify the cancer and kill it or kill you. Oh my God. I don't know. I'm looking at the research on it, but the thing that happened to me, it made me focus on making every day count. I'm working on my grandchildren's college education and my great-grandchildren's college education. A good man leaves a legacy for his children and for his children's children. And the reason that most people don't achieve their goals because we are part of an entertainment-driven culture. We spend more time in stress-relieving activity, more time being entertained as opposed to being on purpose and focusing on our goals and dreams. You have greatness in you. You have the ability to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. I challenge you to see yourself as an instrument to respond to the call on your life. There's a moment, when I think about time I've wasted and 14 years I didn't do what I'm doing because I don't have a college education, because I was in special education, put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade, all the way through high school at Booker T. Washington High School in Miami and Overtown, labeled educable mentally retarded. I did not think, based upon what I was told, that I could do what I'm doing now. I developed a tremendous inferiority complex about myself. My brother Wesley, he's always been smart. I'm a twin. And my sister Margaret Ann, she graduated from the University of Miami. She's smart. She was a teacher for many years. It's amazing. Now she rules my life. She's just like Mama. Christmas time, oh boy. I think about my mother and Boo, my cousin Boo. My mother used to fix a sweet potato pie so good you couldn't eat it with your shoes on. You had to take your shoes off so you could wiggle your toes. It was so good. And Boo could too, and a thick crust. I went to Martha's Vineyard, Dr. Ronnie. Lose 21 days. Used to lose 21 pounds in 21 days. I lost 28 pounds in 3 weeks. I did something for myself. Iyanla Vanzant said something that I love. She said, "Give to yourself until your cup runneth over, and then give to others from the overflow." Give to yourself until your cup runneth over, and then give to others from the overflow. During the time I was at Dr. Ronnie's and Martha's Vineyard, I was giving to myself. Praying, meditating, going for a walk every day, eating healthy foods, organic. Felt like a silly wabbit. I feel good. And I'm still losing. I'm still working on myself. This is going to be your greatest year ever. It's going to be my greatest year ever too. Would you stand with me knowing that? This is going to be our greatest year ever. Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto you. Say it with power, feeling, and conviction, even if you're behind on your bills, even if you have some type of affliction in your body, even if you're going through a divorce or lost a very important relationship. Say this is going to be the best year of my life. The rest of my life will be the best of my life. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. Words are powerful. Say it, even though you have no evidence to prove it. You have nothing to point to. Say it. Say it. The rest of my life will be the best of my life. No matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. I got to show you something. I love warm weather. Look, look at this. Look at this. Isn't this crazy? Look at that snow. You see that? Look at that. That's crazy. What? I ain't going outside at all. I ain't going outside. Home ain't going outside. Oh no. It's crazy. I can't believe this stuff. It's just out there waiting to, come on, Mr. Motivator. I'm cold just looking at it. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. About to make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. About to make me act a fool. Up in here, up in here. You have something special. You have greatness in you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. This is Les Brown, Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. I hope that you enjoyed our conversation. Let me put on my Walgreens and see what y'all saying out here. Hey, Janie Jackson Smith, this is going to be the greatest and best year in my life. I interrupted my broadcast. Okay, I'm finished. Thank you.